Welcome to another episode of Royal Rumble. Please stand by for the upcoming fight. This time, the Lizardmen will face up against the Dark Elves.
So welcome to another episode of Royal Rumble and thank you for tuning in. In this episode I'm playing the Lizardmen and I'm facing up against the Dark Elves. So if my voice sounds a little bit strange, I have a little cold, no big deal, but I just want to let you know that in this replay my voice will sound maybe a little bit strange and a little bit different from other replays or battle casts. But as I said, no big deal overall. So if we take a look on my army composition over here, I've made some changes. So we can see over here I have this feral stegodon. So I reduced one or two groups of skin cohort and also a feral bastillodon and deployed over here this feral stegodon. So I like this unit quite much. So we have a lot of armor over here, 120, even if the armor is less than the armor of the feral bastillodon of 140. But if we take a short look on the melee stats, we have 31 and 34, and on the feral bastillodon we have 22 and 24. So the stats are quite okay, and a lot more than the stats of the feral bastillodon. So also this feral stegodon will compete very well in melee combat. Then we have a quite huge weapon strength of 420. The armor piercing amount of that is 300. The bonus versus infantry, a small bonus versus infantry of 15. But also the charge bonus is nearly 80 watts. It's a lot. And also the speed is 50. So we have also the feral bastillodon is not slow. So the feral bastillodon have 40 in fact, but the feral stegodon has 50. And this is quite a lot. So he's quite fast. You can use him to snipe out enemy lords and heroes, and also to cause a lot of trouble in the front line. Because you can change the direction quite fast, and you can send him to different spots in the front line where it is necessary, where do you need him. And as I said, he's quite fast, and this is very good. So also you can deploy him for 1250 credits, and in my opinion it's quite cost efficient. So I like this unit a lot, and as I said, I can recommend that, and this is a living tank, you can say, and the performance is quite good. So if we take on a short look on the rest of my army over here, nothing new. We have skin cohort mixed with Saurus warriors in the front line. Directly behind that we have Croxigors, 2 units, and feral bastillodon on the left flank and on the right flank. And on the middle, as I said, a feral stegodon and my Krogor on the cold one. On the back line we have temple guards, and I like it to bring the temple guards always in the back line, because after the charge-in, I can decide on which spot I need them to support my front line. And this is very good if you have time to decide where do you send them on the front line fight, or on the front line. And also we don't forget that they are a halberd unit. They have a charge defense against large foes, and they have an anti-large bonus. So they are also really good for defending enemy charge-ins, cavalry charges in the back line. So very good over here. A halberd unit then can compete very well against enemy cavalry unit. So I can recommend it to always, or is it very good to bring them in the back line. So if we take a look, or if we go to the army composition of my opponent, we have Black God of Nagorond over here, elite anti-large infantry unit with a lot of armor piercing, causing a lot of armor piercing damage. Then we have Hargonef executioners to compete against all these infantry units, also a lot of armor piercing damage. Then we have Dread Spears, cheap spearman unit, sorcerer with Law of Dark, Black God of Nagaroth again, another Dreadspear unit, another Dreadspear unit, and then we have a Death Hack. And I'm not a big fan of the Death Hack in this matchup, especially in this matchup. I like the Death Hack, but in this matchup, it's in my opinion not good. Because the Death Hack, if we take a short look on the stats over here, we have 40 melee attack, very huge. Melee defense is 21, it's very low. The armor is quite good. The weapon strength is 282. The armor piercing amount is 80. What is really good? It's not shown up over here in the tooltips, but the armor piercing amount over here is quite huge. And we have a bonus versus infantry of 20. Also, the Death Hack causing a lot of fear and terror. And all these stats say that this unit is an anti-infantry unit. Of course, also it's shown up over here, but this is an anti-infantry unit. And you can snipe this unit out really fast with all these dinosaurs, with Stegodon, Carnosaurs, Bastillodons. And these units will not perform really well against them. Of course, it's causing a lot of armor piercing damage, or a good amount of armor piercing damage against these dinosaurs. But I think it's not worth it, because these unit, I think you can deploy these units for 1,500 credits, and this is, in my opinion, it's not worth it. Or it's not really cost efficient in this game, in this matchup. And yeah, we have another group of Dreadspears and another group of Haganef Executioners over here. Then my opponent brought a Dreadlord on a Black Dragon, and in fact not the female Dreadlord. We have over here the male Dreadlord on this Black Dragon over here. And I also played this Lord several times, and with his crossbow, it's like the Glade Guard on the Forest Dragon from the Wood Elves. So I like this Lord quite much. So the missile damage is 380. The armor piercing amount of that is 140, what is quite good. And also he has a good ability over here, Volley of Dark Arrows, causing in fact a lot of armor piercing damage, and you can use it several times. I think 3 times. And as I said, you have if you want to save money, this is a really good Lord. And the range of the shooting range with this crossbow is quite low, so we have just 125. But as I said, you can also go in melee combat with the Black Dragon, and if you want to save money, this is a quite good, or like this dragon. So yeah, so let's start over here. We can see that my opponent will deploy over here on this side and on this side. So he deployed on this side and this side, and it's very good over here to use these stones as a natural protection for his army. It's very good over here because you can see I have to split my units over here to attack from the charge in, and as I said, this natural protection over here very well played from my opponent. So yeah, let's go on with the touch in, and yeah. As I said, the stones were really annoying, because I was also not able to support my units over there, and it's very difficult to always walk around these stones, and very good of my opponent. Also, he brought this Death Hack on the right flank and just this single unit, and as I said, of course the performance is not so good, but he closed this spot over here quite well, and I was not able to flank him in time over here, or to flank on the right side quite heavy or quite hard. So of course this side is very overwhelmed, you can see that, but the Death Hack and this unit of Dreadspears, these guys were really able to hold the line over here against my units. So you can see also my Feral Stegodon fighting the Death Hack and my Feral Bastillodon, and these Death Hack will get, you can see that, causing a lot of damage, will get a lot of damage from these dinosaurs, as I said. But the rest of his army, you can see over here, now Brothers Prowse kick in, but you can see also over here the rest of his army is really steady, and it's really difficult for me to get through this over here, or let me say it like this, it was nearly impossible to kill this Black God of Nagaroth in time. Even if one group of Saurus warriors were able to flank on the left side quite hard, and now these group of Blackguard of Nagaroth and these Dread Spears get sandwiched over here, but you can see the rest of his army over here is really steady, and it's really difficult for even if for the Temple Guard to get through this over here. So very good over here. And also we have this Sorcerer with Law of Dark, and of course he will support his units with this Mage. So very good over here. But on this side we can see that the Death Hag is shaking or nearly dead, and as I said, it's you can snipe out these Death Hag really fast, and these dinosaurs causing a lot of damage. You can see the Death Hag goes down over here, and see some flowers over here in there. And yeah, he saw that, of course, and he saw that his Death Hag will go down, and also the Dread Spears will rout, and he had to do something about that and send his Dreadlord directly into this right flank to hold up my unit or to fight against my unit. But also the Feral Stegodon in combination with the Feral Bastillodon, and also my Krogor is fighting here his Dreadlord, and this side, as I said, was really overwhelmed, and it was not so easy to hold the line against my units over here. But on the left flank, as you can see, this side over here is overwhelmed from my Saurus Warriors, but even the Blackguard of Nagaroth and the Dread Spears are quite steady, still quite steady over here, and it was not so easy to clean that up. You can see also very good of my opponent, he was able to, or he managed to damage my Krogor quite much. You can see he's routing now, my Krogor, and very good of my opponent, so he took a lot of damage from the Black Dragon. And he's terrified also, and very good. And you can see, but you can see over here the Dreadlord get a lot of damage from these Feral Stegodon. So the Feral Stegodon, in fact, as I said, is a living tank over here, especially very good against units like this Black Dragon. So the Black Dragon is on the ground not so fast. So also the Feral Stegodon can hunt him, or can cause a lot of damage to the Black Dragon. And now, of course, also the right flank was completely lost for my opponent, and now also the left flank gets really overwhelmed over here, and over here it's just a matter of time. But we have still this healthy group of Blackguard of Nagaroth and also his Dreadlord, but the Dreadlord is quite heavily damaged now, and you can see I sent him directly my Feral Stegodon to attack him or to hunt him down, to finish him off. And now also my Krogor now here is charging in and causing a lot of damage to this Black Dragon and this Dreadlord. Yeah, that's it for the Black Dragon, and now the Feral Stegodon finished him off with the last charge, and as I said, 80 charge bonus, very strong. But we have a really, as you can see, this is so strong. This Blackguard of Nagaroth still steady, even if they are, even if all their friends are dead. So very good game, was a lot of fun, and as I said, the Haganah Execution has performed quite well. Also the Blackguard of Nagaroth always really good. Dread Spears always good to hold the line, even if they will not kill so much units, but they are really able to hold the line against all these big dinosaurs, and quite cheap, very low tier infantry unit, very cheap, but cost efficient against these Lizardmen. Then we have good performance of the Temple Guards, and as I said, the Feral Stegodon, especially against for sniping out large units at Lords, but also against infantry. So thank you for tuning in, and let me know what you think, and let me know what you'd like to see, and see you on the next episode of Royal Rumble, and have a nice evening. Thank you.